Okay, students, in the earlier classes, we have discussed the Euler's motion equation, that is the motion equation, momentum based on the momentum principle. Then we have derived the Bernoulli's energy equation just by integrating the Euler's motion equation. So all these things we have discussed in the earlier classes, and also we have uploaded the videos. Then also we have uploaded the notes. I hope you have gone through those things, and also you have written your second test. Okay, so now let us, in the today's class, we will discuss the application of Bernoulli's equation. So Bernoulli's energy equation is applied. Okay, Bernoulli's energy equation is applied to analyze all type of incompressible fluid flow problems, right? The Bernoulli's energy equation can be used or can be applied to analyze all type of incompressible fluids. Incompressible fluids means the mass density of that fluid remains constant, and the example for that is water. Hence, we are the civil engineers, we are mainly dealing with the water. So, let us consider the water, which is a incompressible fluid flow. So, and also I told Bernoulli's equation, energy equation, can be used to analyze all types of incompressible fluid flow problems. So now we will discuss the specific application of Bernoulli's energy equation in this class. That is, if it is required to measure the rate of flow, that is the discharge in the pipe or in the closed conduits. Okay, closed conduits means flow through pipe. So if it is required to measure the discharge or the rate of flow or flow rate through the closed conduit, we are using Bernoulli's energy principle, and based on the Bernoulli's energy principle, we have three types of devices. Okay, that is venturimeter, orifice meter, pitot tube. These three are the measuring devices. Venturimeter and orifice meter are the devices which are used to measure the rate of flow or discharge in the closed conduit, and the pitot tube is a device which can be used to measure the velocity in the open channel or as well as in the closed conduit. So venturimeter, orifice meter, pitot tube are the measuring devices, that is venturimeter, orifice meter, pitot tube are the measuring devices which are used. These devices are used to measure the rate of flow through the closed conduit of incompressible fluid, and also to measure the to also measure the velocity. That is, venturimeter, orifice meter are useful to measure the discharge, that is rate of flow through the closed conduit, and pitot tube is the device, or you can call it as an instrument used to measure the velocity. Okay, so now today we will discuss the venturimeter. What is the venturimeter? Venturimeter is a device, or it is a sort of arrangement, or you can say instrument. And this venturimeter, as I have told, is used to measure the discharge or rate of flow through the closed conduit or through the pipe. Okay, then venturimeter usually consists three parts. This is the venturimeter. This is the venturimeter. So you can say this is section 1 and you can say this is section 2 and this is section 3 and this is section 4. Okay, so this is the venturimeter arrangement. So it means venturimeter consists three parts. That is, see here, let us take, this is section 1 At section 1 the diameter of pipe is D1. Okay, this is the diameter of pipe D1. Okay, and at throat portion or reduced diameter here or at section 2 the diameter is D2. Okay, so let us, this section means here this is the converging portion, means the diameter is reduced gradually from D1 to D2. So between the section 1 and 2. So here at section 1 let the velocity of flow is V1. Velocity of flow is V1, and at section 2 let this is the velocity V2. Okay, and again at section 4 it is same V1, and here the diameter is same diameter, again it is D1. Okay, so now the pressure at point section 1 is P1 and pressure at section 2 means in the throat portion it is again P2. Okay, so the venturimeter consists three parts. One is the converging part, that is from section 1 to section 2. The diameter of pipe is reducing from D1 to D2. So this is called converging. It means, see here, and this is of shorter length. So that why it is of short length? See, the velocity value at section 1 is V1. So it is velocity is because area is more, since we are using the continuity equation, that is continuity equation means Q is equal to A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. That is, Q is constant. Q is constant. That is, rate of discharge of fluid flowing inside this pipe is constant. That is, if it is 5 meter cube per second, it remains 5 meter cube per second. Okay, so if the flow is continuous, as we have discussed, so the continuity equation is to be satisfied. The continuity equation is Q is equal to A1 V2, A1 V1 and A2 V2. See now, from this point of view, observe at section 1 V1 value is V1 value and A1 value. Okay, that is, area is more, velocity is less. Area is more, velocity is less. Between section 1 and 2, it is a converging, and at section 2 the diameter of venturimeter is D2, means diameter is reduced. It means flow area is reduced. So to satisfy this equation, velocity is to be increased. So at section 1 velocity V1 velocity is less than at section 2 because to satisfy the continuity equation. Now let us derive the mathematical equation for the Bernoulli's, for the venturimeter. Okay, now mathematical expression or derivation, mathematical expression to get discharge, to get the discharge in the pipe, to get the discharge in the pipe. Okay, so what we are doing here, let us connect the venturimeter to the horizontal pipe, Okay, let us connect the venturimeter to the horizontal pipe to measure the discharge or rate of flow inside the pipe. Okay, that is our requirement. So venturimeter is having three parts. One is the converging portion, then the reduced portion, that is called a throat. Again it is divergent, means the diameter of pipe is increasing gradually from lower value to higher value, means from D2 to D1, means this is our pipe, which and where we are connecting the venturimeter. This is our venturimeter and we are connecting this to the horizontal pipe to measure the discharge. Okay, at section 1.1, at section 1.1, at section 1.1, let D1 diameter of pipe, and V1 velocity inside the pipe at section 1.1. Then A1 is the cross-sectional area of pipe at section 1.1, which is equal to 5/4 D1 square. 5/4 D1 square. Then P1 is the pressure intensity at section 1.1. Okay. Then similarly at the throat portion, means at section 2.2, okay, D2 equal to R at throat. D2 diameter of pipe, then V2 velocity at section 2.2, and similarly A2 is the area of throat. This is equal to 5/4 D2 square. 5/4 D2 square. Now let us consider the ideal fluid. What is the ideal fluid? Ideal fluid is one whose viscosity is 0. Means viscosity is not exist for the ideal fluid. That is, the ideal fluids are, as I have told in the very beginning classes, ideal fluids are those which fluids doesn't exist, doesn't exist the viscosity. Means viscosity is not there in case of the ideal fluids. Ideal fluids are nothing but the theoretical fluids, because every fluid is having viscosity. No fluid exists without viscosity. But from the theoretical point of view, let us we will consider the fluids which are having not viscosity. Such fluids are called ideal fluids or theoretical fluids. And in the earlier classes we are also discussed the Euler's motion equation we have derived for the theoretical fluids, means no viscosity. While deriving the Euler's motion equation, we have considered only two forces, that is the surface force and the volumetric force. We are not considered any other external forces which are causing the motion of the fluid. So that is the for ideal fluid. So now let us take the fluid inside the pipe is an ideal fluid, applying the Bernoulli's equation. Let us apply. Now let us apply the Bernoulli's energy equation between section 1,1 and 2,2. Okay, at section 1,1 the energy head is P1 by W plus B1 square by 2G plus Z1 or plus Z. This is equal to energy head at section 2,2, that is pressure head at section 2,2 plus velocity head at section 2,2 plus datum head. Since we have considered the Z1 and Z2, since we have considered the horizontal pipe, Z1 is equal to Z2. So now simplifying this equation, so see, let us P1 by W minus P2 by W equal to V2 square by 2G minus V1 square by 2G. Since pipe is horizontal, Z1 is equal to Z2. Okay, so what is this P1 by W minus P2 by W? This is the difference in pressure head. Let H is difference in pressure head between section 1,1 and 2,2. Okay, so this is equal to P1 by W minus P2 by W, or H is equal to P1 by rho G minus P2 by rho G, since W is equal to, W is what? Unit weight or specific weight. This is equal to mass density of fluid multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. So therefore now H is equal to V2 square, so 1 by 2G is common, so you can take it outside the bracket. H is equal to 1 by 2G minus V2 square minus inside the bracket V2 square minus V1 square. Okay, because 1 by 2G is a common, so 1 by 2G is taken outside the bracket. So 1 by 2G inside the bracket, that is V2 square minus V1 square, since 1 by 2G is the common. So now from the continuity equation, as we know, continuity equation is A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, so on. Okay, so because the rate of discharge which is flowing inside the pipe is constant, so therefore continuity equation. So as we know, this is the continuity equation, that is Q is equal to A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Since if this equation satisfied, then only we can say that the flow is continuous inside the pipe. Okay, so H is equal to, now H is equal to, so is, let us A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, or V1 is equal to A2 by A1 multiplied by V2. Okay, now substitute let you take this as equation 1. Okay, substitute the value of V1 in the equation 1. H is equal to, okay, 1 by 2G inside the bracket V2 square minus V1 square. V1 square is equal to, V1 is equal to A2 by A1 V2 square, or V1 square is equal to A2 by A1 square and V2 square, means squaring both sides, so you will get V1 square. So substitute the value of V1 square, okay, in the equation 1, that is A2 by A1 square multiplied by V2 square, bracket complete. Since V2 is common, H is equal to V2 square by 2G. So this is equal to 1 minus A2 by A1 square. Or H is equal to V2 square by 2G inside the bracket A1 square minus A2 square divided by A1 square, or 2GH is equal to V2 square inside the bracket A1 square minus A2 square divided by A1 square. Okay, further simplifying this equation, that is V2 square is equal to 2GH A1 square divided by A1 square minus A2 square. This is a just mathematical simplifications. Or V2 is equal to square root of, taking the square root on both sides, it is 2GH A1 square divided by A1 square minus A2 square. A1 square minus A2 square. Since Q is equal to, we have A2 V2. Q is equal to A2 V2. Okay. So Q is equal to A2. Substitute the value of V2. This is square root of 2GH A1 square divided by A1 square minus A2 square. So you can take A1 square outside the square root. You will get Q is equal to A1 A2 divided by square root of A1 square minus A2 square and square root of 2GH. So this is the Venturimeter equation. This is the Venturimeter equation. Okay, that is discharge Q is equal to A1, it is the area of a pipe at section 1, A2 is the area of pipe at section 2, divided by square root of A1 square minus A2 square square root of 2GH. Okay, so this is equation we use to calculate discharge inside the pipe. Okay, since Bernoulli's energy equation we have derived based on the Euler's motion equation. That is, integrating the Euler's motion equation, we have got the Bernoulli's energy equation. But while deriving the Euler's motion equation, we have considered the fluid is ideal. That is a practical, not a real fluid, it is a theoretical fluid. So whatever discharge we are getting here, it is for the theoretical discharge. So whatever discharge you are getting, it is the theoretical discharge. So you can call this discharge is the theoretical discharge. So Q theoretical, right, this is as the Q theoretical is equal to A1 A2 divided by square root of A1 square minus A2 square, then square root of 2GH. Okay, but actually ideal fluids will not exist in practice. Okay, so now we actually used to apply this equation for the real fluids. Real fluids, you know, real fluid is a fluid whose mass density remains constant. Okay, that is the water. Incompressible fluid and mass density remains constant. Okay, so water is a real fluid. Water is a real fluid, and this is the theoretical equation. So we can't use this theoretical equation directly to measure the discharge inside the pipe. Why? Because a real fluid means water, which is having the viscosity. Because of that viscosity, you will get certain resistance force. So whatever discharge you are getting from this equation, that is theoretical equation, will not be give the correct value, that is the exact value of Q. So that Q we used to call actual discharge. Okay, actual discharge is for the real fluids. So whatever equation we derived, it is for the it is for the real fluid, ideal fluid. So now how to apply this equation for the real fluid? So we are defining one constant, that is the CD. It means what? It is the coefficient of discharge. Coefficient of discharge. Okay, this coefficient of discharge, it is defined as, it is the ratio of actual discharge divided by theoretical discharge. Okay, it is the coefficient of discharge. Okay, this is a constant value. Why we are supposed to use this CD? That is the coefficient of discharge, because the equation, mathematical equation, is derived for the ideal fluid, and since that equation we are applying for the real fluid is having the viscosity. Because of that viscosity, you are getting some resistance to the flow. So actual discharge is not equal to theoretical discharge. So always actual discharge is less than the theoretical discharge. So now actual discharge is equal to CD multiplied by Q theoretical, or CD actual theoretical discharge is A1 A2 square root of A1 square minus A2 square square root of 2GH. Okay, so this is the actual discharge. So to measure the rate of flow through the pipe, and the fluid which is flowing inside the pipe is water, then Q actual is equal to CD A1, A2 divided by A1 square minus A2 square root of 2GH. Okay, so this is the Venturimeter equation. So as you will come to the 5th semester, so you have the experiment, okay, in the fluid mechanics lab. So you have to conduct the actual experiment based using the Venturimeter, and you have to calculate the actual discharge. First you calculate the theoretical discharge, then multiplied by the CD. There in the laboratory you are supposed to measure the coefficient of discharge in the pipe. So that is the experiment that you will get in the 5th semester when you are going to visit the fluid mechanics lab. Okay, this ends the derivation of the Venturimeter. Okay, thank you.